All right, not our best effort tonight. That's one heck of a football team. That's a team that's won 3 out of the last 4 national championships for a reason. They do everything right. From top to bottom, extremely physical football team. We got beat up out there tonight. We need to go back. We need to coach better. We need to play better and execute the things and control the things we can control. And certainly we could do better in all facets of our team, and we'll do that. Disappointing night. I thought we'd compete a little bit harder than that, but give credit to them. Like I said, that's the number 1 team in the nation for a reason, and I was really impressed with them. Just like you watch them on tape, their quarterback, they've seen it all, and he's just extremely poised, makes plays. They're physical. They could run it. They put you in all kind of predicaments, and had us off balance most of the night, like they do to a lot of people. So we'll get back, clean up the mistakes, and move forward with the second half of our season.
Mark, what have you heard about Jalen? What his status is?
He sprained an ankle, and it was a pretty good ankle sprain, so I'm not sure.
Coach, how physical were they?
Very. That's a physical bunch. It's a big physical team that plays with great technique, and they're extremely well coached and very multiple. So put all that together, and it's a tough night.
Mark, Alabama was helping out early, giving a couple of broken
Yeah.
balls. You guys just couldn't take advantage of it.
No, we couldn't, and they were still driving it. They drove it down there. We get the turnover down and kept us back there, playing great defense. So we were even though we got a couple turnovers, we were still behind the 8 ball most of the night and chasing it. It was an uphill climb. They had so many snaps in the first half, and that's a combination of things of us not getting first downs and not being able to stop them. And they were getting, plenty of drives. They moved the ball very well against us.
Mark, do you feel like your defense wore down a little bit just because they were on the field so much?
I do, and I do. I just think it was going to be tough to begin with, and then to be out there a bunch of plays and get banged up, it was a tough night.
Mark, how much of the offensive game plan was built around Jalen and his mobility?
Well, the problem was he got most of the snaps, and as we're trying to settle in on this, most of the snaps went to him. So Max got thrown into a tough situation against a great team. So, it hurt us in that regard.
Were you encouraged by the first quarter defense especially?
I guess you could say that. We were hanging on, but like I said, I felt like we were behind from the beginning. I just felt like we were just hanging on. But I was encouraged. We got looked like we had a couple good hits and got the ball out. And, I thought we were fighting, and we needed to have some good things happen, and that was helpful to keep us in it in the first half there for a while.
Mark, when you all were down 17-0 and had the ball, and Max hit Ryan on that crossing pattern, and he didn't catch it, how big a play was that?
Well, I think it hurt us quite a bit. So if I'm not mistaken, did they go down and score again right before half? Yeah. Then we just needed to be off the field. We got to convert. It's tough enough, and those are the things that I talk about. The things we can control, the things we can execute. We have to do those things against a quality football team. So, I didn't feel like we gave ourselves much of a chance to win at any point. But certainly, we can execute and do some things better.
Are you unhappy about the way you guys tackled tonight? That seemed to be an issue there.
Yeah, it is, I think just going into it, seeing how physical they run it and how well their backs run and all that, it was a tough night.
Mark, these 4 games behind you in 12 days now to the next game. Do you approach this with your team as a clean slate, 6-game season?
I do, to some regard. I mean, I just told them we got to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We got to coach better. We got to play better, and that's not acceptable, no matter who we're playing. We know how good Alabama is, but we can do some things better. We didn't play our best tonight, and that's what I'm disappointed. When you're playing the number 1 team in the country, at least give them your best shot and go toe to toe and let the chips fall where they may. But they make you, they do it. They're just, they're a good team, and they do that to a lot of people. I've seen them do it to top 10 teams, before as well. So, but that's what I told them. We got to coach better. They got to play better. We got to hold ourselves in this program to a higher standard. We got to play better, and we'll do that. We'll clean up our mistakes, and we will compete for the second half of this season. And I expect our players to bounce back and prepare the right way and play hard.
Against a team like that, how small is the margin of error, both offensively and defensively?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough sledding. So there's no way around it. There's nowhere to hide. You gotta man up, and you gotta line up, and you gotta play, and you gotta execute the things you can execute, and get better as a program, and that's how I wanted to approach it. I wanted to just go play the game the right way. Play as hard as we can and be in the right spots and look like a good football team. And we had a few here and there and all that, but overall it just wasn't pretty.
Mark, how much did it affect your game plan? I'm sure you've been giving Jalen most of the reps in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, his skill set is completely different from Max's. How much does it change when you have that quick switch from one to the other?
It did hurt us. We did have some design runs, and Jalen got most of the snaps throughout the week, and so like I said, that's a tough situation for Max to go into against that defense. So.
Mark, are they just so physical because they're so talented, they're older, the numbers, or what is it?
Well, I did notice that throughout the week. I looked at their roster, and you guys could do the research on it exactly, but there's quite a few older guys in there, and that's what you do when you have a great program like that. They sprinkle in young talent, and they do a great job. But those are some big boys that've been around for a while, and they're doing things right in that program, and they're doing everything right. They're lifting, they're training, they're recruiting, they're developing the players they have, and so that's a great model to look at. But yeah, I think those are some big boys. They're some older guys. Yeah.
How did you come out of this? Obviously, we know what Jalen and the other guys look like. You had several guys
Yeah.
that go out part of the game.
Yeah, I think we're pretty banged up. I do. I felt that. I tell you, I've been around and been some big games for a while, and that bunch, they beat us up pretty good.
Where are those other guys? Where are your other guys? Like Tiller, I think, had a sting. Do you know?
Yeah, I don't. There's so many guys. I hate to get into it right now, but we're banged up.
Mark, compared to the other three losses, what was different about tonight?
Well, I think it's tough now. It's tough to be in that situation and to go through that, and they make you feel that way. I played plenty of good teams, and back in the day, when we first started at Arizona so many years ago, and USC was unbelievable. There's a time, when you're out there, that it's not a good feeling. Let me tell you, there's not any magical calls out there, and that's what I said going into it. That's the plan. There's nothing magical that you can call. That team has seen it all, and they execute things right, and that's why I say you got to go in there, line up the right way, do things the right way, and play them, play them the best you can. And that's what we planned on doing. And I was disappointed at times we did that, and a lot of times we didn't. And that's just our execution. I think we can execute a little bit better.
Mark, did you notice any individual guys that looked like they were up to the challenge tonight? Obviously, collectively they weren't. Like Eric Dixon seemed to play well early.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say right now. I was disappointed in our overall effort.
Coach, you look back on these last 4 games, is your record kind of deceiving about your progress and where you guys are right now as a team?
I think we're making progress, but I don't think anybody cares. You know what I mean? The record is what it is, but we'll see. I think I like this group. I think we were uphill against a great team all night tonight, and I'm going to wait, and I'm a little bit frustrated. I'll wait and get back to work, tomorrow, and get these guys in a position to compete and fight and get better the rest of the way through. I think we have been doing that, and frustrating night tonight. But again, give them credit. They can do that to a lot of people.